Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day. So far, so much going on right now in the Call of Duty world. We've got roster announcements all across the park in the challenger side, also in the pro scene. What are NRG going to do if the CDL force them to fill the roster for next year? But also, Shotzzy's back to his old tricks. This time he's leaking for real the OpTic Dallas logo, getting pretty frustrated with himself for doing so, but also reckons that, well, the announcement is coming very soon indeed. Very much intriguing your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach more people. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already as well. Really helps the channel grow. Thanks very much for 72,000 subs. If all of you guys who hadn't yet subscribed, hit the sub button right now. Made it say subscribe, not subscribe. We did 80k without too much of a sweat. Let's talk about this from Shawnee. Me and Classic will be looking for two going into challenges. So, of course, Shawnee on the Ravens last year. Classic, of course, on Paris first of all, then Seattle Surge. To, well, let's just say mixed success. So these guys are trying to make a run for things. And, well, certainly if we expect expansion to come through next year, there's also, of course, one team in the NRG spots, which has not yet been determined what players they're going to be, and potentially the direction they are moving means that if these guys perform very well early on in challenges, they could potentially be up for grabs. We'll talk about that here in a couple of seconds time. This first even Blast, not exactly sure what's going on here, because I didn't really think aBeZy wanted to compete in challenges, and well, Slack says this in the reply, but he kind of, well, Blast says, me, Slack, aBeZy looking for one for challenges this year, as of course, Blast coming back from the Warzone side, so definitely I'm going to be keeping my eyes on this one, but there's also plenty else going on in the challenger side. For example, this from Florida Mutineers. We talked yesterday about Havok, who decided effectively, instead of actually being their substitute for the Mutineers and having to live in Florida, he would prefer just to stay in Texas, have a better internet situation to compete in challenges, and try and make that work. So Mutineers decide, okay, if you're not going to come to Florida, we're going to let you go. Like, yeah, we bid farewell to Havok through hardships and championships. We'll always remember the passion, skill, etc., etc. Like, honestly, a really solid player, like a pretty legendary player in COD history, to be honest. He's been around a number of years. Hopefully he gets an opportunity back at some point or another. It is kind of strange, really, because there's not many players, Havok was one of them, that were still competing for the organization that started them right at the start of the league. So like, well, 2 years ago in Modern Warfare, when that began, there was, honestly, there's very few players. Skies is one of them still competing for the Mutineers. I'm sure there's a few other ones, but a load of the players really have either moved on to other organizations. I guess Toronto has a couple of these examples, but a couple of those guys were on the bench, right? The likes of CleanX and maybe Cammy was on the bench at the start. I can't exactly remember. They made a lot of moves, but there's a load of players, right? Even if you look at the OpTic guys, right? Scump and Co, like they started on Huntsmen, now they're OpTic Chicago, now OpTic Dallas. Like, even though it's kind of the same ownership group, it's still like, I guess they're still changing teams technically. Havok was one of those guys that was still competing for the same organization, and a lot of guys that, well, of course, have no longer find themselves in the league in similar type of situations. As a result, then Yeez, who was eventually released because they wanted to bring Vivid in for Havok, decided, well, they effectively brought him back. So it's kind of chaotic what's going on in the Florida camp. Happy for Yeez, and in the end, it's kind of worked out quite nicely because Yeez still gets his spot, and Havok gets to do what he wants to do in the challenger side. Of course, you know, he would have preferred to get a starting spot in the team, but it is what it is with Vivid becoming available, and this I thought was particularly entertaining as a result. They then played, well, Havok played Florida in a tournament and beat them 2-1. On to the next, he says. Oh no, says Clay in the reply. So yeah, already, like, you know, they need him and stuff from a chiller. So yeah, already, like, within a couple of hours really of Havok being effectively dropped by Florida, they, well, he comes out and takes them down in one of these tournaments. This also, the Grim points out, he goes to a nice little, well, he finds all the FaZe guys, and well, you can see the FaZe team, and then you've got Priestahh here in the center on the right hand side of the center as well. Of course, Priestahh is Arcitys' non-identical twin brother, and I mean, yeah, so, well, the theory is right now he's going to be their substitute for next year, so maybe this just adds credence to that story. Let's talk about this then from Unscripted. He came out a few days ago really to say that the Washington spot was no longer going to be a thing, and as he says, I wouldn't call this an official report, but I'm hearing rumblings. He definitely has some sources that know what they're talking about. He was, I believe, the first to leak the Crimsix to New York news, well, a couple of months ago or so now, and well, as he says, the NRG CDL spot is not expected to sell by the start of the season. The expectation is they'll be forced to field the team. We heard from Kevin Hitt that actually there was some sort of other buyer getting involved, but that may or may not happen, right? And that's the thing. If I'm an investor, I wouldn't want to buy this spot now. Like, if the CDL are saying we're going to expand to 16 teams next year, like, I want to come in, well, when the expansion happens, because then I actually get to participate in Rostermania and have time to build a brand and, like, get the people on board. Coming in now, it's just so late to buy this spot. Like, it's already November. The season starts in probably a couple of months, right? If it starts a similar time in January as it did last year, you've got to find your roster. You're not going to be able to build a great roster because all the players are, you know, of course, already signed to teams. Like, you've got to do so much work to try and build a brand or something. It's just not really the time to buy in, I would say. It's much better to buy in for expansion when you actually well, get to buy in and get announced much earlier in the season and actually participate in Rostermania. So maybe NRG will be forced to fill the spot with Hex dipping out of there and taking OpTic over to Dallas and merging with that organization. conversation. So what does that mean for what NRG are going to try and do? I've been told their plan is to wait and see who the best challengers team is and straight up sign that whole team. This is actually quite exciting, right? Because people talked about doing this for Paris, like, you know, just sign a challengers team and see how that goes. And maybe NRG are going to do exactly that. With challengers starting 6 to 8 weeks prior to CDL, that have plenty of time to evaluate teams, that also have plenty of time to keep looking for a buyer of their spot if they were able to find one. So, for example, Methods, TJ, Porlex, and Venom, it seems to be a team of 4. These, of course, are some other ones in the North American side that I guess would be easier for them to buy. So, more than likely, they'll get the Methods team if they do have to go down this route and actually field a squad, because I'm sure the CDL wants 12 teams in the league, but at the same time, they could get any of these guys, and it would be quite exciting to see if they do decide to go for a challengers team, how they actually, you know, compete, right? If they are having great success early on in the season, like, you know, what do they do? For example, the Wester guys of last year, how would they have fared if they, you know, all 4 of those guys come into the league? So it could be exciting. Of course, another question is, what are they going to call themselves, right? Because, you know, the Chicago Huntsmen branding could still be up for grabs for them, right? Because, of course, Chicago Huntsmen was an NRG brand. And, like, I don't really know who has the rights to that exactly, but maybe the NRG guys do, right? So I'm not really sure what they're thinking, but if they had to bring back a brand, maybe they bring back the Huntsmen, which would be kind of crazy to think about, but it is not out of the question if the NRG team is forced to field a roster, as is being discussed right now, which wouldn't really be out of the realms of possibility, because I think 12 teams, like, is kind of a must, but also, like, who's going to buy this spot this late on? It's kind of interesting, most certainly. Definitely one I'll be keeping you guys updated on in the coming days. This also that I noticed yesterday on Spoonbill from Hastro, he removed Dallas Empire from his bio, so that's gone, kind of like the NV account did a couple of days ago, which, you know, again, every time I see this, it's kind of sad, because Dallas Empire is such a beautiful branding, I think, and, well, it's going to be disappearing, it seems. So, anyway, so Hastro gets rid of that from his bio. Either he's just not involved with Dallas Empire and Call of Duty anymore. I kind of doubt it, probably because the branding is going to be going elsewhere, more than likely to OpTic Dallas. And, well, anyway, speaking of OpTic Dallas, we certainly have some talk about that. So last night, Scump was streaming, of course, with the OpTic Dallas guys, Dallas, you know, Dashi, Illy, Shotzzy. We know what the roster's going to be at this point, but we believe Monday, that being tomorrow, is going to be the day everything's coming out. The process is coming out on Monday. We've got Shotzzy saying he reckons it's going to be Monday as well. And, I mean, this comes out from Shotzzy, 13-hour stream, a huge W, thanks to Scump for the host. So pretty entertaining. Basically, Shotzzy was streaming, Scump goes offline, because, I mean, I'm pretty sure the tournament they were playing in, like, it kind of didn't conclude, but they kind of took a rest for the day, effectively. And Scump goes in and hosts Shotzzy. And Shotzzy has, like, 10k viewers, 10k, 11k, I think you can maybe go up to, like, 13k viewers or something, because Scump comes in and does the raid. And he's watching some videos, and he has this video prepared right here that he had, like, an editor or something put together, and he had, well, I guess he had his editor put the new OpTic Dallas logo right to the ends for when he's able to upload this and talk about it. But he decides to give it, like, maybe a little preview right here, like, you know, shows a little video clip, and then just to his stream, whatever, with all these people in there, and lets it run a little bit too long. And Shotzzy comes out and does the explanation as well about exactly why this is possible. But, well, if we look back at this right here, like, Shotzzy's really frustrated with himself for doing this, understandably so, but it is absolutely hilarious that right at the end of this video, like, well, the OpTic Dallas nice little logo thing comes up at the end of the screen. So this is how it looks. This is kind of what we expected it to look like. But, yeah, here we go. The OpTic Dallas logo in full force. I'll share the clip.
So, what were we talking about again?
Almost 9 p.m. yo. You guys know me, you know. I got a strict cutoff time at about 10 to 10:30 p.m. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh! No! No! I didn't realize. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, dude! Dude, I swear to God, in there. I swear to God, I tried. Not sure. I literally. So, like, I don't even want to give you a backstory, dude. There's no point. Long story short, that was edited a couple days ago, right? And I told my editor, yeah, yo, put the new logo, right? And then, like, I didn't think twice about that, like, because that was a couple days ago, you know what I mean? So then I showed it on stream because, like, I'm just chilling. And then, like, bro, it literally just, oh, it's so annoying, dude. I'm actually, like, really annoyed.
So it's funny that Shotzzy doesn't really try to hide it. He was like, yeah, okay, you know, I messed up and I'm annoyed at myself, but, you know, what can I do? Shotzzy's just a gold mine for this type of content. It's just absolutely hilarious. But this is the logo we saw a few days ago, right? With, kind of like, well, it's in black right here, black and green. Of course, the one we saw in Shotzzy's thing was like the white version, which also looks kind of nice. So there's a few different options here they can do. Clearly, they're working on it. Basically, yeah, this is a logo. OpTic Dallas is a thing. And we don't really have to speculate on it too much anymore because, well, Shotzzy just straight up confirmed it. He also did say in another another clip later on that's at Monday. Basically, wait for Monday when the process comes out. That's when the announcement's going to be. So tomorrow, I think finally the waiting will be over. I've got tired of putting Shotzzy leaks OpTic Dallas in the title, but like, what am I meant to do when he leaks OpTic Dallas? Like, you know, I don't have any other option. It just is what it is. This also just wanted to mention from Crone that, well, the $7,000 GB quarterfinals. This is continuing on later today. Subliners versus FaZe, Mutineers, Paris Legion, Rokkr versus Saints' team with like Prolude, well, a Mohawk and those guys. And the OpTic Dallas guys are still in this one as well. So definitely keeping my eyes on that. And I'll just close out the video with this because I'm sure you guys are looking for some classes also to use in the game right now. And well, Scump runs through what he's using right now, competitive Vanguard classes for the start of the game. I'm sure this will change, but well, could help some of you guys out. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. Others like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
What's going on, everybody? Here are my classes for competitive. First off, let's start with the MP40 class. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perks are fortified radar and double time. You've got the frag. Don't use the gammon bomb. Done. Now we're going to go to my ninja sub. Same exact attachments, just with ninja instead of flak. STG. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my Ninja STG. Same perks, same stuff, all the same. Then you go down here. STG flak, same thing. Same thing we're rocking. All the same, just put flak on. Next, we're going to the automaton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ninja, same thing, people. Flak. Enjoy.